Hello dear students, in today's video we will study about the soil types of India. So there are basically 8 soil types which are found in India. One is alluvium soil, second is black cotton soil also known as the Regur soil, third is the Arid soil and desert soil which is found in Thar desert. Fourth is the forest soil or the mountain soil, which is found mostly in Himalayas. And the fifth is the red soil, which is found in the southern peninsula. And the sixth is the saline and alkaline soil, which are found around the coastal areas. And the seventh one is the peaty and marshy soil, which is found around the wetlands. And the eighth one and the last one is the laterite soil, which is found in the Western Ghats. So this is one of the examples of where this kind of soil are found. So in this video, we will completely discuss the formation of the soils, how these soil are formed, what are the different weather phenomena, what are the parent material rock, what are the other time impact on the formation of soil, and what are the chemical composition, okay, chemical composition, that is the soil is made up of, and what are its physical properties, which kind of crops are suitable for growth in this kind of soil. We will study everything in detail, and this soil classification has been given by ICAR. So what is ICAR? ICAR is the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. It is an institution that comes under the Ministry of Agriculture. So this has given the 8 types to categorize the soil of India. And if you have seen my previous video in this channel, we have studied the soil taxonomy that is given by USDA, okay, United States Department of Agriculture. So if you have not seen that, you can go and watch that soil classification also. And but in this video, we are going to focus on the soil classification that is given by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Okay, so let's get to the next slide. Here are the eight types of soil that I have said, that is forest soil, alluvial soil, red soil, laterite soil, peaty soil, black soil, saline soil, and arid desert soil. So you can see the distribution. The forest and mountain soil is mostly found in the Himalayan region. If you will keep this image in your mind, then you can definitely recall it in any examination wherever you will get a question regarding the soil of India. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this image also. Arid, all of us know the meaning of arid is, dryness, where the climate is dry, such as the desert areas, the Thar desert. This has the arid kind of soil. And the saline or alkaline, these soil are found around this Gujarat and parts of Rajasthan and Punjab. And here we have the black soil. This black soil is found in the Deccan Plateau and Madhya Pradesh, and also see the parts of Karnataka, parts of Maharashtra, and also the parts of Andhra Pradesh have this Deccan Plateau, have this black soil, which is also known as the Regur soil. Dear students, you can speed up the video to 1.5x, if you want to watch the video in a fast pace, or you are doing just the revisions. And if you want to directly skip into any of the soil, alluvial soil or red soil or laterite soil, which I am going to discuss later on in this video, you can directly skip to that content by going to the description. Okay, in the description I will give the timeline, at which timeline what soil is we are discussing, and you can directly go to the topic. Okay, here what it is written: the Indian Council of Agricultural Research classifies this soil based on nature, character, origin, dictating the entire agricultural economy of nation. Okay, so what is the basis of the classification? One is the nature of the soil, second is the character of the soil, and third is the origin of the soil. Okay, so let's see what are the nature of these soils, what are the character of this soil, and what are the origin of this soil. Okay, so now coming to the first kind of soil, what we call as the alluvial plains, alluvial soil. Okay, here we are going to discuss about the alluvial soil. So first of all, how it is formed? First of all, there will be a river which will carry a lot of silt and it will deposit it in the banks of the river. Okay, and then through thousand of years, okay, thousand or of years, this will get finer and finer, and the silt will get deposited, and then there will be the formation of the alluvial soil. Okay, and these soil are very much fertile in India. And where it is found in the, you can see this is the Indus region, this is the Ganga region, this is the Brahmaputra region. Okay, and the coastal plains. Okay, wherever the river delta are there, because there is the silt deposition work that is going on by the river. Okay, so now we have seen the distribution of the alluvial soil: Ganga, Indus, Brahmaputra, and the coastal belts, the coastal deposition river mouths, deltas. There are, it is found. How it is formed? The river, when the river flows, it carries silt with it, and it get deposited. And then after thousands of years of deposition, the soil is formed around the levees of the banks of the river. Now, what is the chemical composition that is mostly visible here? This is very high in potash and very low in phosphorus. Okay, and what kind of crops there can be grown here? One is wheat, another is rice, another is sugarcane, and cotton and jute. Okay, mostly cotton is grown in the black soil, not in the alluvial soil. Okay, but still there is the crop production of cotton. Okay, but the most important crops what is grown here, those crops require a lot of water. That is wheat, rice, sugarcane, and jute. Okay, these are the crops that is supported in the alluvial soil. Now, as we are discussing it, we should also know what are the USDA soil orders, okay, that have the resemblance with this alluvial soil of India. Okay, one is the Entisol, second is the Inseptisol, okay, and the third is the Alfisol. Okay, these three orders has the similarity with this kind of soil. According to USDA soil taxonomy, these alluvial soil of India are categorized, will fall under basically in this Entisol, Inseptisol, and Alfisol. So I will briefly say what is the relevance and how it will be distinguished from the from each other. If you want to know in detail, you can watch another video that is there in the channel in the name of detailed explanation of USDA soil taxonomy. So these are Entisol are the most youngest soil which are found newly deposited, also known as the khadar. Okay, what we call this? The khadar soil with no diagnostic subsurface horizon. Okay, what is diagnostic subsurface horizon? I have explained it in earlier video. You can watch it if you want, or else if it is not required, you can just skip the concept. Second is the inceptisol. Inceptisol are found in slightly older alluvium, which is more older than the inceptisol, okay, but younger than the alfisol, okay. This is not clear. Let me write it again. And what it is called in our what do you say, Indian context, that khadar and bhangar too, okay. Bhangar, not visible. Bhangar, okay. Now what we have the alfisol. So what are alfisol? Alfisol are particularly the Bangar kind of soil. Okay, where time has passed sufficiently for the clay formation from an acrylic surface horizon with a high base saturation. These are the most fertile than the alfisol and inceptisol, the entisol and inceptisols. Okay, so what we have discussed here, the USDA soil taxonomy define alluvial soil as the entisol. Second one is the inceptisol. Third one is the alfisol. And this is bhangar soil, and this is khadar soil, and this is bangar soil. Okay. Now let's see the next type of soil, that is weathered volcanic basalt creates self-aerating black soils. What we are studying now? We are studying now about the black soil. How it is formed? The volcanic basalt rock, when it got weathered, okay, after the weathering process, this soil become the black soil, Regur soil or cotton soil. Okay. So now what kind of soil are the USDA, under the USDA soil taxonomy, that is considered as the black soil? That is the vertisol. Okay, are called as the black soil. And where it is found? It is found in the Deccan Plateau, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, parts of Karnataka, parts of this Andhra Pradesh. Okay, in this part of India, you will find the black soil. And now, what we have to learn here is that the chemical balance. What is there? High in iron, lime, calcium, potassium, aluminium, magnesium, but low in nitrogen and phosphorus, and absence of organic matter. Okay, and what are the crops that we can grow here? Very much supported, that is cotton, pulses, millets, linseeds, and tobacco. These are the major crops this soil supports. Okay, and let us see a very interesting factor about the black soil. That is the swell shrink cycle. Swell means getting swelled, puffed off, and then shrink means getting compacted. And this happens in a cycle for the soil. That's why this soil become hold very much of moisture and become very good for the production of cotton. So in first phase, what happens? Soil absorbs water, it swells and becomes sticky and impermeable. Okay. And then what happens? It comes the dry phase. Soil loses the moisture and shrinks. Okay. After it gets shrink, you can see what happened. The soil got compacted into one place, and there are the cracks that has been developed during the dry time. Then what happened? It comes in contact with the moisture, Here is the process of aeration. Deep cracks form in the earth, allowing oxygen to penetrate. Okay, this process is called as aeration. And what will happen? Again, there will be rainfall. Again, there will be dry phase, and this makes the soil very much clayey. Okay, the main meaning of verti comes from the word clay. Okay, vert means clay. So these are basically purest form of clays. Okay. Okay, let's jump to the next topic. What we are talking here about? We are talking here about the laterite soil. Okay. Intense rainfall leaches nutrients to form the laterite crusts. So whenever we will talk about laterite, what we have to keep in our mind, these are the soils where there is high amount of rainfall is there. Okay, and because of rainfall, the leaching means the washing away of the other important nutrients or matters such as the nitrogen, phosphorus, phosphate, calcium get leached away or washed away of the soil. And what remains? It remains the iron and aluminum. Okay, and where these soils are found? These are found in Western Ghats, in Karnataka, in Kerala, in Eastern Ghats, majorly in Odisha and Rajmahal Hills. Okay, these soils, these areas have the laterite soil crust. And now you can see one thing here, that what kind of crops are grown here: the tea, the coffee, rubber, cinchona, cashew nuts, and tapioca. These kind of crops are grown here, which are very much suitable for the this soil are very much suitable for cultivation of this kind of crops. Okay, and according to USDA soil taxonomy, the laterite soils are also called as the one is the oxazole and the second is the ultizole. That is, the laterite soil is also known as the oxazole and the ultizole. Okay. So, oxazole is characterized by an oxic horizon consisting of highly weathered residual accumulation of iron and aluminum oxide. Okay, what it has? It has highly oxide iron and aluminum with virtually no primary weatherable minerals. And then talking about the ultizole. When we are talking about ultizole, these are the laterite soil that still retain an argillic horizon. Argillic means clay. Okay. There are some kind of lateral soil which still have clay horizon in this. Okay. But highly leached with low base saturation. With low base saturation. What is base saturation? If you know, comment it in the comment section. If you don't know, then also comment and I will clarify it. And I have discussed this in the previous video. You can go and check it. Anyways, now coming to the next type of soil, that is the red soil. You know, many get confused about the red soil and laterite soil. There is a difference, but a similarity also. So let us talk about the red soil. These are the iron diffusion colors, the crystalline red soils. Okay, so how it is formed? The origin flow chart is that the ancient crystalline and metamorphic rocks, they get into the weathering process, and after coming under the weathering process, it become the red soil with porous friable soil lacking lime or conchod. Okay, there is no lime and conchod. So I hope everybody knows what is weathering, what is the process of weathering, how it happened, weathering, erosion. If you don't know, you can comment in the comment section. I will explain it in the next video. So I am just saying it briefly. Weathering means nothing but the wearing and tearing of the rocks, and then it becomes with the external agents and forces like air, water, sun, and biological factors are also there, which help for the wearing and tearing of the rocks through the passage of time. Then it becomes some kind of soil that is called as weathering. Okay. Now coming up, talking about the chemical balance of the soil, what it has high with high diffusion of iron driving the red color and low in phosphorus and humus. Okay, and then where it is found? It is found in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. These are the states where it has high iron content. The soil has high iron content, and these are also called as the red soil. What kind of crop that can be grown here? One is wheat, another is rice, another is cotton, sugarcane, and pulses. These are grown here. Okay, high responsive to fertilizer. You have to remember this. If you are applying fertilizer like the nitrogen, phosphorus, or humus or compost, then this soil becomes very good for agriculture and they give a beautiful amount of agricultural production. Okay, so what is the difference between the laterite soil and the red soil? What is the difference between the laterite soil and red soil? If you know, then you can tell me in the comment section. And if you don't know, then you can tell me, you can comment that, and I will explain that in the next video. For instance, for now, I am just explaining it in a little in a brief way. Okay, so mostly the laterite soil are which are formed in the due to the heavy you can say heavy rainfall areas. Okay, these laterite soil are also known as the yellow soil. These laterite soil are also known as the yellow soil. And inseptisols, inseptisols and Altisol. Okay, these are the USDA soil order that uh, come in similarity with the red soil. Now talking about the sandy soil. What we are talking about the arid soil or sandy soil or desert soil. We can say it like that. How it is formed? It is formed in the arid climatic condition. Okay, with the help of the mechanical weathering where the air is a main factor and the sun is another main factor and the soil texture is sandy. Okay, and chemical balance gauge, the salt content is little higher in this soil. It is low in moisture, low in humus, and it is low in organic matter, also low in nitrogen. Okay, and what are the crops that are grown, that can be grown? Well, the millet, the barley, the maize. And where these soils are found? These are found in Punjab, parts of Punjab, Western Rajasthan, and Gujarat and Haryana. And these soils are called as the Arid soils. Okay, Arid soils in the USDA soil taxonomy. Okay, now coming to the forest soil or the mountain soil. Here we are called as the we are talking about the forest soil or the mountain soil. What happens in dense forest areas, in the like mountain areas, the trees they die, their leaf, their dead branches, all these get accumulated in the soil. And what happened with the help of the the parasites and all the worms that is there in the soil, they decompose the leaves and then they turn into soil. Okay, and these soils are high in and it takes a lot of time also, and these soils are also called as the this soil have a huge amount of organic matter in the soil. Okay, these are rich in the humus and the acidity, which means it is also acidic in soil. And then what it is low lack, it lack potash and phosphorus and lime. Okay, and what are the crops that grow here very well? That is the tea, the coffee, the spices, and the tropical fruits, and highly heterogeneous in nature. The soil is highly heterogeneous in nature. It means the soil, the forest soil, the mountain soil, it can be very, it can have very much different type of chemical properties and physical properties according to the which type of forest the soil is found. Okay, and then if we will call the soils are called as the you can say this can be called as the spodosol, because spodosol that is found in the Himalayan region can be called as the spodosol. Okay, according to the USDA soil taxonomy, spodos has came from the meaning it means the wood ash. And why it is called as wood ash? Because the soil that is found here are turned something like bleached gray color, very light gray color, and because of the ice cover, okay, and permafrost, this soil are called as the spodosol. And also some of the soil are called as the inceptisol. Okay, these will come under the inceptisol in the eastern Ghat areas, in the western Ghat areas, in the coastal areas. As I have said earlier, inceptisols are also like the alluvial soil. Some of the alluvial soil also come under the inceptisol. Okay, so here there might be a confusion with you that insectisols, if alluvial soils also come under insectisol, then how can this forest soil will come under insectisol? See, nature do not have like the boundary that this is insectisol. These are the humans. Okay, humans who have done the classification to properly manage the resources, the soil resources, that which crop should be grown here, what kind of properties this soil have, how to apply which kind of fertilizer, so that our growth of the crop will be higher. So if you will see one thing that is common in the forest soil and the alluvial soil, which under the alluvial soil there are three types of USDA soil taxonomy. I have said entisol, insectisol, and alfisol. Okay, and this forest soil or the mountain soil also has the one type of alluvial soil, that is insectisol. Okay, one type of alluvial soil, that is insectisol. Because the forest soil, see, these are the coastal belts, these are the coastal belts. Okay, so where there will be the interaction of river, deposition will be there. Okay, interaction of water will be there, weathering in the form of with the help of water will be there. There will be this kind of insectisol will be found. Okay, then coming to the next topic, that is, so talking about Usara soils, this the name Usara has been derived from the Sanskrit word which means Ushtra. Okay, the Sanskrit word Ushtra. Ushtra means sterile or barren. Okay, so what is the meaning of barren? What we call banjar in Hindi. Okay, so in the ICAR classification, Ustra refers to a saline or alkaline soil. So there are two kind of soil, okay, which are found in India that will come under this Usara or Ustra soil, that is saline and alkaline. Okay, this soil will come under the Usara soil, and this soil have developed under a specific local condition, a specific local conditions of poor drainage and extreme evaporation. Okay, there will be poor drainage and extreme evaporation, rendering them largely unsuitable for agriculture. And they are also locally have various names across India. One is the Ray, one is called as the Ray, and then Kalar, and then Chopan, and also the name as the Thur. Okay, and also in some places it is called as the Kal, and also it is called as the Rakar. Okay, these are the some of the names that has local names for this soil. So, and where it is found in the parts of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab and Haryana and Gujarat and Maharashtra. Okay, where there is a high amount of evaporation and low drainage system. Okay, so what happens because of the high temperature and low rainfall, the evaporation exceeds the precipitation. And what happens then? The groundwater carrying dissolved salts, the groundwater, whatever has the dissolved salts, is drawn to the surface via capillary action. Okay, you have to remember one word here, that is capillary action. With the capillary action, when the water evaporates, it leaves the crust with the salts. Okay, so the underground water evaporates and the salts remain there itself. Another point you have to keep it in your mind, that because of the waterlogging and faulty irrigation also, this kind of soil has developed in the parts of Punjab and Gujarat. Okay, because of the high irrigation, what happened, the soil has become alkaline. Okay, I have said there are two kind of soil, one is saline and another is alkaline. Alkaline means low pH balance. So this has also a major problem, that is the water logging water logging and the poor drainage. Okay, so what happens that the canal irrigation plants of Punjab and the Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, the water table that rised, and this brought all the subsoils to the surface. Okay, and then it got evaporated, the water got evaporated, then what remained in the soil? Only the saline, and this process is also called as the secondary salinization. This process is also called as the secondary salinization. Okay, and in the coastal regions also you can find, because of the influence of the coastal areas, this kind of soils are found there. And this soil will come under the aridisol. This soil will come under the aridisol. And you can see one thing here. The crop which grown here as leguminous crop, okay, salt tolerant, which requires extensive reclamation. Okay, now coming to the next soil, that is the peaty soil. Okay, peaty means peat. It comes from the word that is peat, which is high in organic matter. So how this soil is formed? This soil is formed because of the accumulation of water from the rainfall. Okay, when there will be rainfall, and the water will be there. The soil will be saturated with water for a long period of time. And what will happen? The plants, the leaves that will fall into the water, and because of the lack of oxygen, the microbes will not be able to decompose the plants leaves very soon, but it gets just what you say builds up. The uncomposed organic matters build up, and then slowly it turns into the peat soils. Okay, and where these are found? In Kerala, in Sundarbans mostly, and also parts of Bihar and Uttarakhand. Okay, the Alappuzha, of Kerala, the Kottayam of Kerala. Okay, and also the Sundarbans of West Bengal. These soils are found there. You can get a question from these parts. Okay, and the chemical, it is high in organic matter, that is 40 to 50%, and it has soluble salts, and the acidity is heavy, and it is dark in color. Okay, and what are the crops? Those are rice and mangrove vegetation. Okay, these are the crops that is very well suited for this kind of soil. So here we are going to see the chemical composition of all the soils: the alluvial, black, red, laterite, desert soil, forest soil, saline soil, peaty or marshy soil. So you can see all the soil lack in nitrogen. Okay, in India relies heavily on nitrogen fertilizers regardless of the regional soil type. Okay, in India universal deficient is there, that is of the nitrogen, and we apply nitrogen to each and every soil while doing the agriculture. And then coming about the other chemicals, other compositions: the phosphorus, the potassium, the calcium or the lime, and the iron and humus content. As you can see here, alluvial soil is rich in this phosphorus, potassium, calcium, but lacks humus and iron. And black soil also has this chemical composition and lacks humus. Okay, so one thing is that you can take a screenshot of the image, and you can keep it in the wall of your. I will erase all the inks of the slide. You can take a screenshot, and you can revise it daily. Okay, now let's get to the next slide. So, while we are talking about the types of soil, see, we need to know about the texture of the soil. So while talking about the texture, as we know, there are sand, there are silt, and there is clay. The sand are little coarse, silt are more finer than the coarse, and clay are very fine. Okay, so when we will see that soil, the spectrum, we will found that the arid soil are very much sandy. The alluvial soil are some kind of silt kind of, you can say, soil, or it has the not so coarse nor even very much thin or very much finer in particle to called as clay. Okay, so it becomes the most fertile soil or suitable soil for most kind of agriculture. Okay, and then comes the is clay soil. So clay soil is black soil that we call the Regur soil. Okay, and then the Peaty soil. These are very much clay in nature. These are very much finer in nature. So this is what you will see, the soil spectrum, the texture spectrum of soil of India. And when we are talking about the as I have mentioned, the forest soil and mountainous soil, these are heterogeneous in nature. You can find soil of sand, of clay, of not sand. Okay, not sand, my mistake. But you can find clay kind of soil. You can find silt kind of soil. You can find mixture loamy soil there. Okay, it is very much heterogeneous. Now talking about the moisture behavior of the soil. Okay, so what is happening here? While impermeable and high retention. The black soil has impermeable and high water retention. Okay, when it saturates with water, it becomes impermeable and it has the highest water retention capacity, that is the black soil. Okay, the black soil, the cotton soil, the Regur soil, or the vertisol. These four things are the same thing. Okay, black soil, Regur soil, or cotton soil, or vertisol. Now we are talking about the moisture regime of red soil. Okay, these are porous and friable. Okay, air, it has some of the air in it and it has pores, and this soil is good for the agriculture of most of the crops. Then comes the laterite soil. Okay, what is the moisture behavior? So in the discussion, while we were discussing about the laterite soil and red soil, I have said that there is a difference between laterite soil and red soil, and the difference is that these soil are very much prone to leaching. Okay, they are prone to leaching. So this soil, the what do you say, the base chemicals, that is the calcium, the magnesium, the potassium, the nitrogen, and this kind of chemicals get washed away from the soil very easily. Okay, then coming about the waterlogged soil, that is the peaty soil and the saline soil. These are the peaty soil, the marshy soil, the vertisol, also called as the peaty soil, the last type of soil we have studied, and the saline soil, the second last we have studied. Okay, so these are the two waterlogged. Now we will see about the pH tendency of the soils. Okay, so what is there? These soils are peaty, forest soil are very high or acidic. Okay, and the arid soil or Usara soil are alkaline in nature. They are saline in nature. Okay, and alluvial soil comes in the middle of all this. Here also alluvial soil comes in the middle. Okay, so these are the chemical physical properties of soil. While alluvial soil offer extreme physical balance, the severe physical properties of black and laterite require specialized regional farming techniques. So finally, we have discussed all the 8 soil types, starting from alluvial soil to the laterite soil. Hope you have learned a lot of information regarding the ICAR soil types in India, and I expect you to comment if any doubt is there, or for which examination you are preparing, or you are just watching for the information. And I would like to know what are the requirements of my audience and how I can help them. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.